What's good, everybody? I usually have this on, and I'm sipping my coffee before. It's been a while. I forgot to do it. Let me just do this real quick. Mm, got my coffee on. Woo, how's everybody doing? It's been a while. I know. Forgive me. Busy couple of weeks. I visited my mom. Came back. My co-teacher retired. It's been a crazy couple of weeks trying to get everything situated. But yeah, man. We back live on Tuesdays. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for everybody who have been active in the YouTube community tab. Every now and then I would post and you guys would respond. Thank you guys. So whenever I don't post a video, I try to stay engaged with you guys, my Harrison extended family, on the community tab. So if you are not connected to the community tab, make sure you guys go there on occasion. I usually post there. We got a couple of people already in the chat. Dara is here. What's going on, Dara? I knew you were going to be here. All right. Seems like you and your sis likes to give me a hard time, but I welcome it. I welcome it. My mother's in the house. What's going on, mommy? Thank you so much for being here. We got Vaughn Sanders Ministry. Yes, I'm back. It's been a couple of weeks. But wait a minute. You're talking about me being back, bro. Where you been? Where you been? Waiting on you to do some more lives. All right. What's up? Where you been? All right. But we're gonna have a dope conversation. And I'm actually honored to be doing this show tonight because the young lady that I have on the show with me, a bright, young, saved rising star in these YouTube streets. Yeah, I said streets with a K. All right. I was like, hey, maybe we should do it live. She said, yeah. I said, yo, your birthday's coming up. Do it live on your birthday. She said, well, I don't know. I said, well, if I do it live, would you mind being my guest? She was like, yeah, we'll talk about something. And I was like, yeah. So she's here on her birthday so that we can do a live together. And I was like, what do you want to talk about? So I threw out a topic. And she was like, well, what if we do this? I was like, yo, it's your birthday. It's your world. We do what you want, sis. All right. We do what you want. This young lady hails from Detroit, Michigan. All right. Detroit, Michigan. All right. So if you come at her sideways, she's going to come at you crossways. All right. This is Detroit. All right. But she'll do it with the cross way. See how I did that? You see how I did that? I thought I was going like somewhere violent because she's from Detroit. Nah, she's saved. All right. So that's what we're talking about. But this bright young lady, extremely smart, knows the word of God. And she has a lot of wisdom. Like her life is about studying the word of God and communicating what she's learned with other people. And I'm honored to have her here as a guest. So without further ado, let me bring on Chelsea from Chelsea's
Hello.
Live Line. What's going on, sis? Thank you so
Hey,
much for being
Dre.
here.
Thank you for having me here. I'm so happy to be here. We're going to have a good time, y'all. So hope y'all ready.
Yeah. Yo, guys, it's a birthday. So I need you guys to spam the chat right now with birthday messages. All right.
You got to
Spam the
sing,
chat
Dre.
right now.
You got to sing, Dre.
You want me to
Oh, yep.
sing?
The
if I
Stevie
sing,
Wonder version of
if I
Happy Birthday.
sing, everybody will leave the chat. Everybody
We
will
don't
leave the
want
line.
that.
All right, hold on. I'll try. Um, why am I forgetting how it goes?
Happy
Oh yeah,
birthday.
yeah, sorry. All right. See, you about to put me on the spot. Like, I'm not a singer. All right, I'm gonna try.
Okay. Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. There's a song I play for my students when it's their birthday, and I tried it on here one time, and my video got demonetized.
Oh, Lord. We don't want that.
Yeah, yeah,
We don't
yeah.
want that.
But yo, it's your birthday, so how you
Yes.
feeling?
I'm feeling
Uh,
good.
so I know it's not appropriate in many cases. Yo, do not come for me in the chat, please. Do not. Thank you,
Oh,
bro.
hey,
Thank
that
you.
Christian
He's
fan. Shout out to
Yeah, thank
Jermaine
you, Jermaine,
and
because
Nikki. What's
he's an
up?
encourager. You know who's not an encourager?
Who? Oh,
She's not an encourager. Okay, Dara be coming for me. All right, Dara, relax. I'm trying my best. Okay, I'm trying. But here's the thing. You know who likes my singing?
hmm.
God. All
Amen. That's
right.
what matters.
So I
That's what
sing to the
matters.
Lord. All right. He accepts it as a pleasing aroma to his ears, even though it comes like cacophony to yours. All right. I can't control
But thank
that.
you everybody for the birthday wishes. Von Sanders Ministry. I see a
Yes.
few in the chat. Let's see
Yeah.
who else.
Yeah.
That
So I
Christian
know.
fam, Gloria Harrison, your mother. Shout out to
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not appropriate in most cases to ask a lady their age. Are you
Mm-hmm.
shy about that?
No, I'm not. The big 2-5, quarter of a century, because God's
Quarter
been
of a
so good to
century.
me. Amen.
Quarter of a century. Like
Quarter
that's
of a century.
Yeah. I remember when I was 25. All those years ago. Yeah. Yeah, man. So I really am excited to have you on here. I
I'm
wanted
excited.
to, and this is I think our first official like long term like long form content collab,
Yeah, you're
right?
right. You're right.
Yeah.
Because we
So
did. I had one show. You came on just as a guest, real quick, to
yeah.
give your opinion. So today
Mhm.
is our official one. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that it's not the last because I think that you
Right.
have an amazing channel. So,
Thank
guys,
you.
if you have not gone to her channel yet, please do so. I'm gonna put it in the chat in a little bit.
Thank you.
Her channel is amazing,
Oh, thank you.
um, and there's no reason why you shouldn't have already 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours
That's
because
my
your
goal.
content, yeah, your content is amazing. So, if you're
Thank
watching this channel right now and you want dope content, especially if you are a young lady looking to um, strengthen her relationship with God, your relationship with God, and and maybe find some ways to um, produce or reproduce, yourself and others as far as ministering to God and ministering to others. I think that it would be a benefit to you to subscribe to her channel. So
Thank you.
right now, I just want to make sure I get your channel link so I can put it in
Okay.
here.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank
So
you.
if you can, just real quick, tell my audience a little bit about yourself and your
Yeah.
channel.
Yes, I'm Chelsea. I'm from Detroit, officially 25, and my channel is about inspiring people to manifest their best lives mentally and spiritually. So I have episodes every Wednesday at 6 p.m. EST. So tomorrow I'll be on talking about National Foster Care Month, where I have a guest who's going through the foster care system, and she'll be talking about her journey through it. So we really try to talk about topics that can improve us as a community, topics that people don't want to talk about, that they're not going to give the limelight to. But I talk about relationships. I talk about anything related to just us as a community and how we can better ourselves and not divide but unite. That's my goal.
So, without further ado, what you guys are going to do is go in the chat and click that link there and subscribe to the sister's channel. A
Thank you, bro.
dope
Thank you.
channel. All
Thank you.
right. And I'm gonna make sure you guys who are watching the replay click the hyperlink in the title and the description and join the channel. All right.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we're gonna get into this topic and this discussion, but I do appreciate everybody for being in the chat. I'm going to be dropping the link as well. So if anyone wants to come up, you're more than welcome to come up. I am going to pin um, your channel
Okay, thank you.
and those who are watching the live the replay. That's just me pinning it so that those who are watching the live now could subscribe to the channel. But if you guys would like to join the discussion, you can do so by clicking the Melon app link. Now, where are you? I'm hearing like
Hear
eagles.
birds.
I
Yeah,
hear
that's what I was
eagles
wondering. I'm
and
like, oh, that's what I was thinking. I don't know if you heard it too, but yes, I
yeah,
am
yeah,
inside, of course, but I might be closing this window in a bit because of the
yeah. No,
fact that
no.
I guess I got eagles. But yes, I will mute.
They got eagles in Detroit.
Yeah, we got a little bit of everything in Detroit.
Cool, cool. I don't know if I've never been to Detroit. The only time I've ever been to Michigan, I visited my godmother's family in Saginaw.
Oh,
Did
okay,
I say
nice.
that right?
Yeah, Saginaw. Yeah.
Saginaw, Michigan. Yeah, dope people up there. Like they were really warm, welcoming. I felt like I was in the South though. Like it wasn't like I was like up north. Like they
Yeah.
this country out there. They
Yeah,
say
I agree.
they say pop. Like they call soda pop.
Yeah,
Like
we do too. That's
you
what
do
we do.
too?
Yeah,
What's wrong
pop.
with you guys? It's soda. It's soda.
Okay.
All right.
So what?
Pop was what Gloria Harrison used to do to me when I was out of line.
Dang.
That was a pop. That's what I knew pop was. So when somebody say you want pop, I was like, no, I didn't do
Right,
anything.
right, right.
You know, I was in Michigan, like, no, why everybody want to beat me up? I didn't do anything. They
uh,
were just
uh,
offering me
uh.
soda.
Mm,
All right.
mm, mm.
Yeah, that was a really bad dad joke. All right. All right. So without further ado, let's get into the topic before I continue to embarrass myself. All right. So the modern dating forecast for 2022. We're going to be talking about this because in modern times, I find that it's difficult for people to really know what first they should be looking for in a relationship, and two, who they should be to the other person in a relationship. And it seems like when you was throwing out topics, what stuck out to me was the whole how influencers have ruined the dating culture today. Like everybody is a dating coach. Everybody is a dating expert in some way, form, or fashion, without any credentials, solid credentials, outside of their experience. And we all know last week, one of the more infamous voices in the dating space, Kevin Samuels, passed away. So rest in peace to Kevin Samuels.
Rest in peace. And the thing
Yeah.
about him is that that's the reason I found out about your channel. So I can thank
Mm,
Kevin for that, because you did an episode talking about dating after a certain time of night and what does
hmm.
that,
Yeah.
entail. So you talked
Yeah.
about that. And that's how I found out about you. So if it wasn't for Kevin, we may not be on this video right now, for
Yeah. So
example. So shout out to him for that.
yeah, yeah. That's one of the benefits, I guess. And for clarity, for people who are going to be watching this, um, people think that I had an issue with Kevin Samuel himself. I had never really had an issue with the person or the man, just some of his inconsistencies of thought that seemed to be extremely um, all over the place. He just was inconsistent. And so, do I think that he hated black women? No. Um, I never really thought that. I just thought that a lot of what he was saying was very inconsistent, and that was it. And I think that people who are at that plane, they become so polarizing that you can't really challenge what they say, because once you challenge what they say, people around them or people that follow them think that you're attacking the person.
The
And I wasn't attacking
Godfather, the
the
Godfather
Godfather.
and his posse. That's what that
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
and they hyped him up so much that he had this title he had to live by. And like you said, if he said
Well,
something, everybody else is coming for him, coming
yeah,
for us if we say
yeah.
something.
And it's like you said the other day on Jermaine's channel about his followers are worse than the beehive,
Yes,
and
yes.
yeah. So, but and I think that uh, we have to be able to think critically about almost everything and not just follow people and what they say. I know that he was a consultant, and I know that, and this is not about Kevin Sam. This show is not going to be about Kevin Samuels, but there are many other influencers out there who have platforms just like the one I have, who are out there talking about dating and their one-sided approach to dating. You have people in different communities in YouTube, divestors and manosphere and red pill and black pill and blue pill and purple pill and you know all
Hot
these other,
mess.
yeah, talking about how people should, what people should want in a relationship. But you know what I don't get a lot of from influencers? Do influencers really want to see relationships flourish? Are they telling the people within their own communities how they should be in a relationship? Or are they only telling the people in the communities, you're the best thing since sliced bread? The person that you're dating should worship you. And,
Right.
so, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that because, again, I don't know how influential I am, but I do talk a lot about relationships. And just so that people know, like, the reason why is because I actually went to school and got a master's degree in marriage and family counseling so that I can help people with relationships. So I'm out here talking not just about my own experiences, but also through case studies, um, real life scenarios, and challenging people's toxic ideologies about relationships that's either one sided or that will cripple communities like the ones that we live in. So I wanted your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, if you come with the credentials, then you have a
Yeah.
say so. But if you're just putting on this title just to make your name long, then you got
Mm,
to reevaluate that. More
yeah.
letters at the end of your name, but nobody can take you serious, because no, you got to come with the credentials. And I like the fact that, hey, you said you got the right receipts. Okay, you come in with receipts, and that's what's necessary for today, for people to
Yeah.
actually say that they're going to be teaching other people. Do not come to me if you're single. Do not try to tell me too much about relationships. I'll listen to you, but what you do and your actions show more than anything else. So it's like you got to kind of take some things with a fine grain of salt and don't worship. That's the biggest thing I
Hmm.
had to say, is like,
Hmm.
don't worship these people, because who are they? No, go to the biblical facts first, and then you can kind of go to, which people to go to. If you source the Bible first as your source, then you'll be okay. But a lot of people aren't doing that. They don't want to go to biblical standards. That's back in the day. That's way back
Yeah.
when. Now I want to do
It's
whatever. I want to
archaic.
be worshipped. Yeah,
Yeah.
archaic, exactly.
Hmm.
So I think that if we focus more on the biblical standards and then cite our sources, because I saw Dara in the chat, I believe, saying that the only one who seems real is Tony Gaskins. Exactly,
Hmm.
because Tony Gaskins is a great one. He is an example. He's been married for over 15 years, and Hello, Dre. Obviously, I'm gonna talk about you next. I'm gonna shout you out. Of course, you have to get the different frame for me on that. But yes, Tony Gaskins, Dre, of course, like living examples. Jermaine from that Christian fam,
Mhm.
and another person is Pastor R.C. Blakes. Pastor R.C. Blakes is the truth.
Mhm,
He's been
yeah, yeah.
married for over 20+ years.
So
I always cite him.
I found him like almost 2 or 3 years ago, and I've been watching him heavy. His live streams.
Yes,
Just
he's
watching him.
great. He's great. He talks about kingology and queenology because that's what we have to see
Mhm.
ourselves as in order to treat
Yeah, yeah.
anybody else like a queen or a king. We have to see
Hmm.
ourselves like that first.
Yeah, yeah. And that's good. That's good. So, what do you think? Like, if you was to give, so before we do that, can I ask a probing question? Are you in a relationship?
No, I'm not. Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, sir.
Are you open to finding the right one? Like, are you like,
Yeah. As
okay?
I'm getting myself together, I'm in the state right
Hmm.
now where I have to focus on healing properly so that way I
Mm,
can be discerning at all times. I won't be blind sided or,
yeah.
from anything that's going on that's not right for me. So I'm trying to get to know me better so I can get to know the people the right way, ask the right questions, the vetting, as you'll be talking to the ladies at some point in time about the
Yeah.
vetting process because we need
Hmm.
it. And
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing is asking the right questions. Forget a favorite color. I need to know what's your medical history, what's your mental history, what's your, will you go to church? How
Hmm.
frequently? Do you belong to a church or do you just go to church? So there's
Yeah.
some things I got to ask, to know properly who I'm going to be
Right.
talking to.
Amen. So you are young. You're saved, and you're essentially like you're not in the dating market per se. Like, you're not dating,
Right.
but you will be entering what we know as today as the modern dating field. Okay. What is it that you find is difficult as we approach, as people approach today, dating? Because at 25, yeah, yeah, what others would say is that you're at your dating prime right now. All right. So,
I'm not in
um,
that danger zone yet. But
no, you're not, as they say, not in the danger zone.
right.
But so what do you think the issue is right now with modern dating? Because people aren't getting married at 25 anymore. You don't see that as much. And I know that, and I can talk about this, but it's your birthday. I want you to have the shine today. By the
Yeah,
way,
thank you.
everybody, it's a birthday. So why do you think it's so difficult for people to really find positive relationships in this modern forecast, this modern
Because
day?
of the media that they're watching, media could be the most effective devil in America if we
Mhm.
let it. Okay? So
Yeah.
that's the first thing. I was waiting on that, but I'll do it myself.
I got you.
No, but
I
no,
got
media
you.
is the most effective devil in America. It can be if you don't go to sources like All Got Everything. If you don't go to sources such as Harrison Family
Mhm.
Values, Chelsea's Live Line, That Christian Fam, Smart Christian Channel, like you have to go to the right sources. So I think what the
Yeah.
problem is that our standards. Thank you, by the way. Our standards is that we don't have any standards. We have to define them, understand who we are first.
Mhm.
And let me read these comments too. I wanted to be married at 25, but I guess it wasn't the right timing for me. God knows best. Yeah, that's the thing. We think that we are supposed to be married by a certain age because everybody's putting that out there too. Everybody's trying to rush it. But I think we don't see a lot of examples today of married couples
Yeah.
being successful, not toxic. Everybody's going to love and hip hop. Everybody's going to
Mhm.
all these different sources. And I see Vaughn's question. I haven't heard the terms kingology and queenology. Could you explain it? Is it biblical? Yes. So if you check out Pastor R.C. Blakes Jr. on YouTube, he defines the terms really just understanding the consciousness of a queen, understanding the consciousness of a king as it relates to biblical practices. So take a look at Pastor R.C. Blakes. He has videos on those. He has, a whole website dedicated to it and some books as well. So he explains
Yeah.
those. But learning our conscious, because we are stuck, without knowing in our conscious, we're not really defining it properly. So that's the problem. Oh, nice. I got married at 25. We celebrated 7 years. That's
Congratulations.
right. Congrats, bro. Congrats.
There was
So
something that you were saying about um the the influences and things that people take in. I find that most people allow themselves to be in their own echo chambers, and they gravitate to what they want people to tell them instead of what they should be told. So, you know, they will listen to people that tell them that they are, I'll say it, that they are the queens or they are the kings, that they are that women should be worshiping you and they should be submissive to you, or he needs to be buying you things and prove himself to you. And they surround themselves in these echo chambers. And what we don't hear a lot of is, well, this is how you need to be behaving in a relationship as well. So yeah, so
Yeah,
I
I
think,
totally agree with that because we have to work on ourselves first. Can we look in the mirror and
and you said
understand
that.
who we are?
Yeah, and you
Right?
mentioned that in the very beginning of what you were saying about you working on you right now.
Yes, that's the
And
biggest
that's
thing because
mhm,
I really didn't know who I was. Therefore, I allow people to do things repeatedly that I shouldn't have allowed after the second time because you got to
mm,
understand you set the standard. Don't be afraid to walk away from something that's
mm,
toxic. But sometimes I had the feeling like, oh yeah, I want to be in this relationship. I want to prove to people that I can be in a long lasting relationship. But it's about the health of that relationship that matters the most. So I've learned that it's like it's not about the length. It's about the respect that you're getting in the midst of it, or the disrespect that
mm,
forces you to leave. But yeah, we have to understand ourselves, right? Understand
mm.
who we are, and then we can treat people with respect. I just think that the media is so toxic because we worship certain couples that we shouldn't, because everybody's putting on a filter on the internet. Whether it's
Mhm,
on a picture, it's still on a person.
mhm.
So I just feel like we got to make sure we look at people from an unfiltered perspective. Understand that these relationships, they're smiling on the picture, but they're going through stuff behind the scenes that they have to fake it until you realize that they're done with their relationship because they're not putting everything out there, not the bad parts.
Yeah, yeah. So you find that modern relationships is really more about what it looks like instead of what it really is.
Yeah, it's more about what it looks like. Yeah, it's like I got to make sure that this selfie looks right before I post it on the internet. I got to make sure that this caption is appropriate. Who liked it? Who loved it? But I'm like, did God like it? Did God love it? Did God approve
Mhm,
of this relationship
mhm.
or this, this fake, this situationship, whatever you want to call it, whatever ship y'all in? Sometimes it's not the right ship to be in. It's going
Mm,
towards the wrong destination.
mm. Yep. I like
Okay,
that. The ship
thanks,
is,
thanks.
and if you're on the ship long enough, it's gonna sink,
Going
and
down.
both of you guys are gonna go down. That's
Yeah, I want to
actually
see
that's
what all God. He said, yeah, you set your standard. Be willing to wait for it while trusting what and who God has for you. Got to go to God and ask Him first, because like women, we have the tendency to go to God in the midst of it, or when it's like
mm,
on its last limb, asking God,
mhm.
"Can you help me get out of this? Can you fix this?" But if you would have went to God first, you would have realized that it wasn't fixable. It wasn't meant for you to fix this. It wasn't meant for
Yeah,
God to fix this because it wasn't meant to be from the get go. So we got to go to Him first and then get our
yeah,
answers.
yeah. Dara says I wanted to be married early only because I didn't want to fall into. Oh yeah, and I think a lot of people get married at that age for that reason. Um, and it's one of those. But here's the thing, right? We since the '90s, since the '80s, but since the '90s, as long as I've been, really focused on pop culture and at least popular culture as far as what was popular to me, a lot of it was over sexualized. And when you're a believer, you want to know what it feels like. You want that experience, but you don't want it outside of God's covenant. So, a lot of people want to get married young for that specific reason. Um, and I think when the evidence of somebody who is really ready to be married, isn't that they're ready to find somebody that's going to make them happy. People who are really ready to be married will communicate it like this: I am ready to be a provider for my wife and my children, and I'm ready to lay my life down on the line for them. I will love them and cherish them and nourish them, according to how Ephesians 5 tells me to. I'm ready to be a husband to a wife, and vice versa. A wife will say, I'm ready to be a wife to a husband and to raise children and be his helpmate. And I will give him the gift of submission because he is willing to die for me and nourish me and cherish me at the same time. And we don't see that in today's modern relationships. In fact, it's more like a battle, isn't it? It seems like
Yeah.
modern relationships is not about what I can do for the other, but what about what the other person can do for me and what I can get out of the situation.
Right. We go back to gender roles. And then also, like what you were saying, I listened to what you had to say. And we have to do all this before a ring. We have to be that wife before the ring. We have to be that husband
Mm,
before the ring. That's the thing. We wait.
hmm
It's like a light switch. Like I talked about that before my episodes. Like it's a light switch. You cannot turn that stuff on and off. You already have to be molding yourself in your single season to be a married person. You cannot be out
hmm
here in these streets and then expect for all the people you was dealing with while you was in the streets to just vanish. No, that's gonna be a distraction. That's gonna become main attractions because you didn't let some of that stuff go. You gotta let it go when you're trying to find that person. You don't have time for distractions that can get you off your path towards that covenant that you want to build.
Here's the thing: a lot of women will respond like this to you. Well, what about Sierra? Sierra was in them streets, and she
Well,
found
that
herself a good
exception.
man.
Everybody ain't gonna be a
Hmm.
Sierra, okay?
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
bank on being a Sierra, you're gonna be surely disappointed
Hmm.
because in reality, everybody's not gonna be a Sierra. Sierra was the
Yeah.
luck of the draw, like a needle in a haystack.
Hmm.
Because nowadays, y'all pass the good guys up. Oh, he's too corny. He's not hood enough. I'd rather have a good guy than a hood guy, and that's just
Hmm.
how it's gonna go for me. So
Hmm.
I just feel like we gotta realize that the standards that women have today are unrealistic. That's one of the
Hmm.
problems. They're unrealistic about this height, this weight, all that stuff gonna spread out. A lot of stuff's gonna happen. That person that got the abs ain't gonna have the abs forever.
Hmm.
You can try to hold on to that stuff, but that's superficial. And God tells us, God looks into the heart of a man,
Yeah.
not the outer. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of women today are being Jezebels, where they focus so much on the outer beauty that the inside is just full of cobwebs, pretty much, because they don't have no type of good inside. They only have this beauty on the outside, but nothing fulfilling that will be rewarding to a man, other than attitude and other issues that come with them.
Mhm. And then, well, in response to that, right? If a man was to say, "Well, beauty is fleeting," right, and even quote that scripture, a lot of women would think that that's shaming and misogynistic, and they don't,
It's reality,
yeah.
It's
Hmm.
reality. Like, the thing is that today's women, they focus so much on the beauty. Like, it's a beauty contest on Instagram. Can I look better than her?
Hmm.
But that doesn't matter. You'll see a man who would rather go with somebody who's a 5 with a good attitude
Hmm.
than a 10 acting like she better than everybody in the world. So you got to realize
Yeah.
it's not about the outside all the time. If you can always look good, look your best self, but just make sure you don't look like a clown doing that. Because people really look like they're ready for the circus out here. No joke. So if we lower that down and look natural, that's the thing. I think men, I don't know what men out here like eyelashes and like all this stuff out here, but I think natural wins.
Yeah. Listen, I'm all for the natural. Oh, yeah, team natural here. But yeah, and that's actually really good. So now, with modern dating, do you think that modern dating favors one gender over the other?
I think modern dating traditionally benefits the man more. The reason I say that is
Mhm.
because um the man is the one that's out here doing the marrying. He's supposed to be the one out here
Mhm.
getting on his knee to give the ring away. But that's a totally different topic because I see women today are doing that as well. Women are getting on one knee proposing to men, and then they're sadly disappointed when they see the man isn't ready. If the man isn't ready, then he's not ready yet. You can't be
Mhm.
waiting forever for that
Yeah.
man to propose to you. Put the limits, put the timelines out here.
And I
Go
think
ahead.
that's one of the things that I agree with Kevin Samuels with, as far as his view on men controlling access to relationships. I do agree with him, to that extent. He was right there. Men do control the access to relationships, which is why, in most cases, if a woman is trying too hard in a relationship, she's going to find herself sorely disappointed after the marriage and realizing that this man is not who I thought he was. And she's going to find herself overworked and burnt out and wanting to leave that relationship. So giving the man the opportunity to control that access actually benefits women in the long run. But yeah,
Yeah, I
so
definitely agree. Like, today is just men have to have the control when it comes to the proposing, when it comes to the leading aspect, because he's supposed to be following God, right?
yeah,
Right. That we're not gonna give him
Dara,
limelight. He had his limelight. That ain't my
Dara,
godfather.
Dara. Dara's, Dara's like, listen, all right, I don't have to deal with him anymore. Let's be nice, please. Let's be nice. All right. Um, so, but do you feel that today, because traditionally I agree, because men do control access to relationships, but do you think that in today's in today's climate, because since we called it forecast, in today's climate, do you find that women are trying to swing the pendulum in a direction that only favors them?
They can try, but the man has the last say, in my opinion, when it
Hmm.
comes to that. They can try to. I would love for you to give me some examples of that, because I think that women are trying to have control of relationships. They're trying to do, like, I know there's an app out here, a dating app, where women can
Yeah.
approach men first. So they're trying
Hmm.
to get that masculinity aspect. They're just trying to get out
Well,
here and Like, what's
Well,
going
let me see
on?
if I can frame it differently. As far as not necessarily access to the relationship or starting the relationship, but getting what they want without giving what they should.
Okay, so getting what they want without giving what they should. Yeah, I think that a lot of women are finessing men. There's some
Hmm.
influencers out here that are really influencing women. I see to tell women marry the first time for money. The only time I want to be married is for love, and that's the first and hopefully the last time. So there's a lot
Hmm.
of women nowadays that are telling other women, get out here, marry him for the bag, get that sugar daddy, even if you don't love him. And that's the reality. It's so sad. Yeah, turn that frame on because it's like it's a finesse to men out here. Men don't even realize it, but they pay all this stuff for women and overdoing dates. Okay, being broke for women who won't put respect on their names. Yeah,
Hmm.
another view, no, another one.
You know,
But seriously though, women are
yeah.
really finessing out here, so you have to be careful, men, to understand that you don't have to
Hmm.
go above and beyond on these dates. Okay, when you first get to know a woman,
Hmm.
and then put
Yeah.
the standards out there at the beginning. Ask the questions instead of looking at her beauty and talking about how fine she is, how beautiful she is. Ask
Yeah.
questions that you need the answers to.
But let's put a seatbelt though on that marry for love thing, because what we tend to do is if we focus on the emotion, if somebody does things for us and it makes us feel good, we start getting those kind of feelings of love, and then we want to marry that. I think so.
Right,
We'll put a
right.
seatbelt on that. So not just we're driving in on the lane of love, but there's a seatbelt there, because we also got to understand that we can marry for love. This this woman does all these great things for me, makes me feel love. I'm going to get on my knee and propose to her, right? I'm about to make her my wife, even though I'm not ready to be her husband, and vice
No,
versa.
you gotta take your time. And then I see
Yeah.
in the comments, married for real
Mhm.
love. And Vaughn said he couldn't imagine being single these days. It's a mess. The forecast is
Facts.
unpredictable. A meteorologist can't figure this one out. I'm just sorry. Like,
Yeah,
it's the truth.
facts.
It's
Yeah.
unpredictable. We don't know what it holds because everybody's trying to play a role and trying to
Hmm.
impress other people. I've seen a lot of times, let me just bring this up, is I've seen
Yeah.
a lot of times where men tend to pick women based off of how they look for their homeboys. They're dating for their homeboys. And they're gonna end up single because it doesn't work out that way. Let me pass her around to the gang so they can see what she looks like. Oh, she fine, man, but she has no brains and
But
she
here's
will
the
get with
thing,
your
though.
homeboy.
But here's the thing, like when you do things like that, your homeboys are looking like, yo, I think I can probably take her away, or I can,
Yeah, right.
you
It's a
know,
mission. It's a plan
yeah,
that's
it's
behind that. So I
yeah.
just don't think that men today, I don't understand that, but I think that's a young boy mentality where men
Hmm.
are trying to date a woman based off of the approval of their homeboys. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
seen that? Yeah.
Yeah. I think, a lot of guys, do that. Like, they want to show off their woman, their lady, look who I got because she looks good. And I think that you could be setting yourself up for, um, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, not not when your boys are a traitor, like they're gonna stab you in the back
They call them
and try to
ops, but I don't know if that's a
whatever.
good
But like
term.
you're gonna one day, here's what's gonna happen, right? You guys gonna be out and you guys are at the club or whatever, and you bring a lady with you and she's in this right outfit, right? And your boys are looking, right? And the second you go to the bathroom, right, they're gonna say, hey, can I buy you a drink? You know, just want to make sure you're good, and that's how it starts. Listen, one of the things that you got to be looking for is how to protect the dignity of the lady at dating, and value her beauty in such a way that you're not trying to flaunt it to make you look good. Now that's where I go into. She can look good, but if he's not ready to be a husband, right, it's not going to work. And on the flip side to that, right, a guy could do everything right. He can buy her, like pay for all her bills, and 3 months after the dating, he's paying her rent and car note and all that stuff, and then all that stuff, and he proposes, and she says yes because she feels like, oh wow, I got a winner. He got all this money, he's buying me all this stuff, but she's not ready to be a wife. And they get married. He's like, yo, um, hold on, like I'm gonna say it, Jermaine. Yo, I never thought, I never asked, like, what does she bring to the table?
Right, because you have to see
So
it. You have to
yeah,
see
yeah,
it
yeah.
before you get on that knee. You have to see that before you
Yeah,
even start having that conversation about marriage, right?
yeah. And I would say this. I was watching the live stream that Jermaine did the other night, right? And you guys had a conversation about the value of a woman, right? And you guys even brought up Proverbs 31. But you realize, right? The whole Proverbs 31 is a mother talking to her son about what a valuable woman would bring to the table.
Right, King.
Like,
Yep, I remember that beginning
so
part. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm just saying, like, I think, women, modern women really do get upset about that whole discussion of what a woman brings to the table. But here's the thing, ladies, you got to ask the same question about men. What is he bringing to the table? Again, a table is there. You bring this to it. You bring this to it, and you know, bring everything together, and you share everything together on the table.
I agree.
Uh,
I look at a relationship like a daily cookout, where it's
yeah,
like, hey,
that's it.
every day, like we can't bring the same dish every single cookout, but
Yeah.
I know, for example, if I can't bring the ribs, he bringing the ribs. If I can't bring the
Yes.
potato salad, he got it. Like he's a
Hmm.
backup for me whenever I need. He's like that, somebody
Yeah.
that can substitute for
Yeah.
me if I need him to get in the game for me, type thing.
Yeah. And we share the table. We share the table. So I bring, you bring, we both bring. So I'll say that in response to what you guys are talking about. It was a dope live stream too.
I just
But
don't think a man should ever ask a woman, "What are you bringing to the table?" You should see it. Do
mhm.
what's she talking about? What does she do? She shouldn't just be superficial. That's how you
No,
know,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely. I definitely agree with. I definitely agree with. But I think it has to come to a point where the two couples can be honest. They don't necessarily have to say, "What do you bring to the table?" But they can have conversations about, okay, what's happening here? I don't feel like you're investing as much into this relationship at this specific moment. Like, where are we going? And how is this going to look in the future? What are you doing right now to help this relationship move forward? That's essentially saying, what do you bring to the table without saying, what do you bring to the table?
Right. Hey, what you
So
bring
I
to the
think,
table? No, it's indirectly like you're doing. I think that's exactly right.
yeah, and I think a lot of times we get lost in the phraseology of things and dismiss the truth about it. Like, the truth is, we both have to, in a relationship, identify, what am I bringing to this relationship to make it work? Essentially, in hood terms, what are you bringing to the table, Sean? What are we bringing to the table? So, what am I bringing to this relationship to make this relationship work? And that's a conversation that today modern couples aren't really having, or um, they're not just not having it, but they're having certain expectations on the other women, or on on the other person in the relationship, and not really applying that self accountability to themselves. And that's the thing about these relationship gurus, right? Yeah, the females out there telling women, you need to be finding a man to do this for you, do that for you, do this for you, and do that for you. Da, 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 da. They got to bring this and they got to do this for you. Essentially, what they need to bring to the table. And then you got the flip side of the men. They need to be fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, blah, 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 blah. And if you can't, da, 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 they need to be bringing that to the table. They need to cook, clean, raise the kids. They got to do all that. And okay, now, what do they have to do? The people in your community, what do they
I
have to
tell
do
you, people have
to make
this
this relationship
list. Everybody has a list, but don't have a list for themselves. Okay, you write this list down for everybody else. You write this list down for everybody else, but then do you have anything that's on that list?
work?
Do
Hmm.
you qualify to even
Hmm.
be that specific with your needs when you
Hmm.
can't be specific with anybody else's needs?
Yeah.
You gotta evaluate yourself. You gotta be humble. If I say I want somebody fit, best believe I'm gonna be as fit as I can be. If I say I want
Hmm.
somebody who can cook, at least I should know how to cook as well because I'm setting that expectation on them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that means it needs to be reciprocated, I think,
Hmm. Yeah.
at a minimum.
And do you think that that's lost in in modern dating today?
Yes, it is because women want allowances from men. And I've read something before about one lady said how her husband had lost his job during COVID and how he had lost his salary. His salary went down from maybe 200K to 100K. And she felt like, oh, since his salary went down, should I still deal with him? Because there's somebody at his job who could basically make more than he can. So she was like, he's giving me, yeah, law and order. He's giving me an allowance of we went from 10K a month to 3K. I can't get my nails done, can't get my hair done. And I said, okay, since his mediocre salary is, I mean, since his salary is so mediocre, your salary must be more than that because otherwise you wouldn't say his is mediocre. Like, make it make sense. Why do you expect an allowance from a man, but you don't have any allowance yourself? like for yourself. You don't have a bag for yourself. That's why I tell women, get a bag
Yeah.
before you expect to get it from anybody else. At least if
Hmm.
he can't provide for you, which he should be able to, but if he can't, at least you have yours to fall back on, and you don't have to. A man's supposed to be a provider, you know. So,
Well,
but
can we
go
can we
ahead.
can we say that for a second?
Yeah.
I think that's actually that I think that's wisdom. If um I think that's wisdom. If a young lady has um means to earn money and she has proven to show that she is responsible with her own money and has a track record of making good financial decisions, a man will trust in his wife, because he's seen her operate with integrity in her own finances. So now, if he's pulling in 500K and she's not working, he's not stressing it,
Right. Because she
because
knows how to manage it. Right.
she had her own bag in the beginning.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Like she
Hmm.
proved herself
Yeah.
worthy. Okay.
Yeah.
She didn't just say, handout, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Panhandling. Like she showed that she actually had money going on. She can take care of the household. She has to do something. If he's working a full time job, she has to do something as well to balance the two out. Yeah, Steven speaks.
Hmm.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah. I don't know if Stefan speaks
Oh,
is
okay,
married. To be
Stefan.
honest with you, I think it's Stefan. Well, you know what? When they reached, I think it was Steven years
I think
ago,
it's
but
Stefan too. I think
no,
so.
I think initially it was Steven, but I think since he's got like a following, he wear those nice clothes, he got his nice locks and stuff. He changed it to from Steve to Stefan, sort of like
Oh, okay.
Family Matters.
Oh, okay.
No shade at Stefan speaks. I think his heart is in the right place. So no shade, no shade. Even though that was kind of funny, like Steven Stefan. All right, women should get the bag to compete. Uh, women should get
Oh,
the
they shouldn't. They shouldn't get the bag to
oh they
compete. They
shouldn't.
should, yeah,
Yeah,
they should get the
to
bag to
contribute.
contribute. Yeah, because that's
Mhm.
one of the things I saw one of your lives about the boss chick.
Yeah.
Right? She's trying to be a boss chick to compete against other women to say, "Oh, I'm making this much money. She ain't making as much as me. She ain't got these bags like I do. That's all material, and
Hmm.
that you can't take with you nowhere." But that's just another
Yeah.
thing. Hmm.
Yep. Yep. I know it's real love because my wife married me when I was broke. Shout out to all the wives out there um that's willing to see a good man that doesn't just have potential but that's working toward it and is able to stand by their man and reap the benefits together. So shout out to the women out there willing to do that.
That's called sacrifice, and a lot of women
Yeah.
don't do that. They think sacrifice is sin, right? We can't
Mhm.
compromise because that's like that's control. So I love that. I love to see humble beginnings.
But I think that's modern relationships. But the thing is, here's a flip side to that, right? You'll come at the ladies about the modern women. I'll come at the modern men. I think for the most part. And Dara, I need you to be quiet. So don't you say anything in the chat. I may say something that you might like right now. Dara, I will mute you if you say anything. All right, you're just gonna listen, okay? All right. So I think modern men, many, not all, modern men um, don't work hard enough to put themselves in a position to be good providers, especially, well, I'll say men within my community don't put themselves in a position to be positive providers because they don't put themselves around people that look like that. They seem to be more concerned about, again, the image of what looks successful instead of what actual success is. A successful family, a successful career or business. They're looking at I was Ruslan was talking about the culture, right? Hip hop culture and how largely it was about image. I know people that live in the projects that are driving top tier Mercedes Benzes. They're parking it outside their project building, you know? Um, so it's the image. It's the image. And I think a lot of men are so focused on what it looks like instead of what it is, which in turn causes women to be frustrated in relationships.
Right, because they don't
In
know
the
how to
long
manage their money. One comment
exactly.
I did see coming from Dara. Is her name Dara?
Dara.
Dara. Okay,
Yeah,
Dara. Okay,
Dara? It's Dara.
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 Okay. She said that I think it's okay to marry broke at a younger age, but not older. So hey, listen, because somebody needs to be established at a certain age. You have to have a plan. If you fail to
Yeah.
plan, you plan to fail. And I think that at a younger
So
age, it makes sense. But
it
at an
does.
older
But
age, you got to be established. What you doing with your
I,
time?
I agree. I agree to that. I firmly agree. But how many modern younger women are looking for that?
Are looking for marriage? Are
No,
looking
looking to
for.
marry somebody,
Hmm.
their age and
Hmm.
their in their 20s that don't have it.
A lot of women are because they going to the sugar daddies. They're
And
going
that's the
to.
thing.
That's true. That's
That's the
true.
thing. So you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But that's not happening. That's not happening. Like like in my case, like I struggled for a number of years, and right now I'm 42, and I'm good financially right now. And well, prior to that, before that, I was working toward it. So I agree with that. But the flip side to that is, and now I'm talking to the ladies. You ladies aren't interested in building with uh, a guy who is your age in your 20s. You guys are more attracted to the dude that's 30 who got a couple of change in his pocket, a nice car, still renting, but it still looks good. So, but I agree. The younger years is the time where you build, and the older years is the time that you're pretty much settled. But it's
I
not
just we
always the
don't. I
case.
just think we don't see a lot of younger guys ready to be committed to
Hmm.
marry as well. We don't see that. Guys aren't ready to marry young
I
anymore.
agree. Yeah. Well, I think is they haven't seen it. They haven't seen it done. So in their mind, they've been told that don't marry young. Enjoy your life, experience life. And the flip side to that is when they get 35, 40, they still don't have anything to show for it. And then what happens is the women want a man who's established. The problem is they didn't do the work when in their 20s and 30s to become established. So now when they're the same age, they're frustrated.
Yeah, that's true.
They're frustrated. And again, that's one of the ills of modern dating. And that's one of the ills of listening to media and music and our favorite talk show hosts to tell us what we should be doing in a relationship. I think we got to ask ourselves the questions. Is what I'm hearing from the person that I'm listening to going to help strengthen the family I would like to build in the future? I don't
No, it's
think
just
that.
going to keep me in the toxic mindset that I already have. Like you said, it's further confirming the ideologies that a lot of people have. So they're not willing to change. They're, not subject to change whatsoever. Same
Yeah,
person, just same person, different day.
yeah. And No Salt has been like spitting some truth on it. I think she's I think she's a clinical therapist in Cali, I think. I think that, yeah, but she knows her stuff. All right, that Christian Fam channel, Jermaine says, being broke at an older age. Well, it depends on how he became broke, or was he always broke? There's a difference. You can be up 1 minute and down the next. True, true.
Very true. That's a good point.
I know a lot are. What age do you consider young? 42. No, I don't even know if you were asking me that question, bro. Okay, what? So you can answer that.
Well, what age do you consider young? I would just say men are don't. Oh, you said you know a lot that are though. Okay, where are they at? But you said what age do
Hmm.
they consider young as far as getting married? I think that people are in their 20s aren't getting married
Hmm.
per se. I don't think
Hmm.
people in their 20s, people in their 30s are getting married, but not people in their 20s, right?
But but you know what's crazy though? African American women, for the most part, they're doing what black men should be doing in their 20s, and then they're getting married later because they're trying to build themselves up to a place where they feel like they could be ready for marriage. Is that crazy?
So
Like
you say that black women are getting married later?
later.
Later.
Hmm. Because
Because they're
they are
trying to
trying to
prepare themselves.
get a career, get skills and go to school and get degrees and all that stuff, and then getting married later. And I think that um, men, you know, um, black men aren't doing that so much. They're working jobs, looking for city jobs and stuff like that. And they're becoming, here's the thing. I think for the most part, um, and this is statistically proven, African American males, right, in large, will settle for a nice, comfortable, medium wage, middle class paying job. It may not be necessarily 100K, but they're able to live. And I think that's not appealing to many women.
Right, because they see lifestyles on
Mhm.
social media that says they can do other. I saw my homegirl from the hood, get this. She got a man that's getting this much every month.
Yeah,
So why can't you? Right?
there's a
That's
lot
what
of
they
women
were
out there trying to
thinking.
look like Lori Harvey. They want that Lori Harvey type of
Right. And
image
you're
in
not
their.
gonna be able to get that unless your dad is Steve Harvey or somebody who's a significant figure. You sometimes you
Hmm.
can't get that. Maybe try to get it on your own. What can you do
Yeah,
to make money?
yeah, yeah. And again, like you have great men that work hard and could even build homes, but because they're not, you know, driving in the fanciest cars and stuff, it makes it difficult for them to be seen by, women who are looking for men, in their 20s for all that stuff. Because you can get a dude that's 26, 27, got a nice, paying job with benefits and stuff like that, but they're not making future money. They're not making Drake money. They're not. So,
And you shouldn't
it's,
expect that at that age, right? They're
yeah.
just statistics, right? So I agree with her statement. Well, I see right here that she said her sisters are 24 and 25 young bosses, and they say they have to have a man with money. So it's like with that, I understand if you're grinding, you want somebody who also can grind as well, in my opinion.
Hold up, hold
We'll
up, hold
see.
up. You said Stefan Speaks has a master's in marriage and family counseling from Liberty University. He's a biter. That's what my master's. Forget that. And he has a twin sister. What? I have a twin sister. He's trying to copy my life. I think that's what it
Mm-mm-mm.
is. All right. Tell Stefan Speaks to get his own life and leave me alone. No, he's not gonna watch this. But if he
Hey,
does,
you never
let's
know.
connect, bro. Let's connect. Men are starting to get married in their early 30s to women in their 20s.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. I'll just say that.
Yeah, marrying a man with money comes with a lot. That man would have to be a practicing man of God.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's a high value man. You should expect him to cheat. You should expect him to do all this and that.
I'm
And we have
sorry.
to
I'm sorry. It's
redefine.
not cheating. It's
Oh,
exercising options.
oh, okay, options. And that's why high value men have options. So, ladies, if you're not a 9, if you're not a 10,
Yeah.
then you might as well call it a wrap. You're going to die alone.
So and here's the thing about that again, influencers that spit these kind of things, right? Modern relationships, right? We have men out there that has bought into this whole high value men don't cheat, they exercise options. High value men understand that exercising options can come with a financial liability. Okay. And we're going to go there real quick. A man sees a woman, right? He's married, but he's exercising option. He they engage in sexual intercourse, and she gets pregnant. He didn't make a good financial decision there, did he?
No, he did not. And then what's going to come with that? Child support, or are we going another
Yeah,
route, which
yeah.
we can talk about?
But here's the thing, right? With the whole recent discussion with Roe v. Wade. And guys, let me say this: don't let the government fool you with this Roe v. Wade talk. Gas is almost $5 a gallon, and we ain't talking about that. We're talking about whether or not Bush gas is about to be $10 a gallon, and we ain't saying nothing about it because we're talking about this, guys. Let's stop focusing on one issue. There's many issues that we need to discuss. I'm just saying I don't want to pay $10 for gas, but either way, let's go back. So, um, women, right, control that today, right? And um, if a man, if a woman wants to be a mom, the father is forced to be a father. But if a mom does not want to be a mom and she wants to terminate the pregnancy, then he doesn't have to be a father. But understand this, man, okay? And if you claim to be a high value man, okay, if you exercise your options, I'm gonna call it what it is. If you commit adultery, okay, if you commit that sin, understand this. There's more, as far as in life, there are consequences behind your actions. There's a financial burden of taking care of a child for 18 to 21 years, even after that, because they're your child. So you may have to get a divorce from it, which will come with alimony and extra child support on top because you may have children with your marriage. All right. It's not a smart decision. And understand this, right? Um, you don't have control in this. The government is not going to side with you. Men do not have an option not to be a father. Women have options not to be a mom, right? which I have, which I will say this. I will say this. This is going to be one of those unpopular opinions. Okay, this is my opinion, but okay, I am not a supporter of abortion. I say this with a disclaimer. I don't say anything about abortions of women with women who have been raped, molested. I have no say in that. I can't speak to that, and I won't speak to that. I'm speaking about women who say they have the right to choose, but then they don't choose not to have sex. Your right to choose is not to have sex. You made a choice to have sex. That was essentially your right to choose. But after let's because of where we live in today, right? A mom has an option not to be a mom because she could terminate the pregnancy. Men have no option in being a father because he's going to be mandated to pay child support through whatever state that he's in. So, men, you got to be wise, you got to be smart. And in the system that we're living in today, you exercising your options is going to come with a huge financial burden. So be smart.
Pick wisely, because you get out here and you look at what looks good for one night, and that's a wrap. All it takes. So I
Mhm.
agree with you 100%. For that reason, I'm definitely on the same side as you, because when it comes
Yeah.
to things like rape, we, no, of course, like, do what you got to do in that case. But other than that, make smart decisions. Don't be out here living your best life. That needs to have an asterisk right next to it, because it's to a certain extent. There's only so much living your best life you can do until you find out that you're pregnant and you want to get rid of the baby that you've produced, right? You got to play it safe,
Hmm.
play it smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, all God,
Yeah.
everything. Do that panel. Yep, 25. I
Yeah.
just made the cutoff. Good stuff. Well, I ain't married, so never mind. But yeah,
Mhm.
I'll watch it.
Yep. Yeah, yeah. See, she had a master's degree in education administration and counseling, with an emphasis in marriage and family therapy. I'm also a registered nurse. That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah.
Represent.
Yeah. Uh, we are young married. We were a young married couple and couldn't find anybody who looked like us in the same boat. It was all in the Asian, white, and Middle Eastern. Yeah.
That's facts, because one thing
Yeah.
Kevin did say, we'll mention him real quick. One thing he did say is that everybody else but us is ready to get married by the time they get finished with college.
Hmm.
Okay, they're going to college to find a husband, find a wife, not for a degree. They're going to college to find a husband, find a wife,
Hmm.
and that's what
Hmm.
I learned from him. Is that I see that all the time. Everybody, as soon as I was graduating, everybody else was getting, a spouse. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I see y'all, and it motivated me. But I'm like, ain't nobody, options like that for us. But they
Yeah.
have the options because they're vetting properly while they're in college.
Yeah. So I'm going to play a quick commercial. We're going to touch on that because I went to Bible college, and a lot of the women that went to Bible college went there to find a husband. No lie. Like they used to call it Zion Bridal Institute, like well, instead of Zion Bible Institute. But we're going to play a quick commercial real quick, and then we're going to come back. All right. All right. Thank you so much for watching this video, whether you're watching it live with me right now or watching the replay. We greatly appreciate your view and your engagement. So make sure you leave a comment down below about the topic that we're talking about. And also, if you would like to join the Harrison Extended family, you can hit the subscribe button on the bottom right and the bell notification next to it. It'll let you know when we upload new videos and when we go live like we're doing right now. All right. Also, if you would like to join the channel through memberships and support the channel monthly, we have very inexpensive tiers which will allow you to support the channel without breaking the bank. You can do so by hitting the join button on the bottom right of this video, or you can join our Patreon community by going to patreon.com/Harrison Family Value. So please, we would greatly appreciate your support. But even if you cannot give monthly or any kind of monetary donation, you can just subscribe to the channel, and by doing so, you'll be part of the Harrison Extended family. So again, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you have not liked this video yet, do it right now. All right, peace. All right, and first off,
All right.
congratulations to No Soul. I'm about to get to your comment in a hot second. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
high
so
value man. We got to redefine that. High value, high value. What is that, right?
mhm,
We learned that word to be so toxic, that adjective.
yeah. And again, like and my pushback with that whole high value term is that it's largely based on a person's financial status instead of their character. And listen, why can't we worry about both though, bro? Listen, I'm trying to say I'm trying to save money. Right? I got kids. What about my living kids? They got to be taken care of too. I can't take care of my kids and pay $10 a gallon for gas. Like it's we could all win in this situation, bro. We can all win.
But I agree with you 100%. High
Yeah.
value is character. Are they truthful? Are they provider? Are they
Mm,
loyal? Are they
mhm.
respectful? Yeah, all of that matters. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
about the financial because again, they exercising options. They looking at everybody else but you. So think about that when you think about
Hey,
high value.
yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. However, it's my sister's birthday, so she's getting that money. All right.
Oh, what? Thank
She's
you.
getting that money.
I
All right.
appreciate
So if you
that.
got
I appreciate that.
any super chat I get
Thank you.
today is going straight to Chelsea. All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate
All
that.
right. So where we at? So where we at with the comments? I'm gonna get to your comment in a hot second. Where we at? Where we at? All right, there we go. There we go. Up to Dara. If you know a 10, don't let anyone to. If you know you're a 10, don't let anyone tell you a different.
Right. That's the thing. They were going to him to get a rating, but you should know what you are and stick with that. Okay. Be
I'm sorry.
realistic. Go
I-
ahead.
I'm I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna be this as real as can be. If you're willing to rate yourself, be open to let others rate you as well. Okay. Okay. Because the thing is, rating is subjective. You're not going to be a 10 to everybody. And you got to be happy with that. You got to be okay because it's a matter of compatibility. Not everyone's going to think of you as a 10. Okay. Not everyone's going to think of you as a 8. Some of you may think of yourselves as a 7. And then the guy out there is going to think, yo, you a 10. So it's extremely subjective. So if you are going to tell yourself you are a 10, be willing to accept the fact that some people may see you as a 7.
There you go.
So
Face reality on
yeah,
that. That's a good point.
yeah, yeah. So, but where we at? Where we at? All right. Vaughn said he dropped a video today about Roe v. Wade. Where is it? I thought I just. So I love Melon, but I think that they don't do a great job at the comments. I'm not able to click the next one.
I
He's
see
I
he
think he's
posted
saying
his
that.
around. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right. So guys, go over to I was about to say go over to Roe v. Wade's. Go over to Pastor Vaughn Sanders Ministries and check out his video. LOL, I don't pay it no mind. Yeah. Again, be confident in who you are though. Like love how God made you and leave it at that. You know. LOL. Shout out to No Salt, who has been married. So you know what's happening? Every time somebody comments, it goes all the way down to the bottom. I gotta keep scrolling back up.
Wow.
So shout out to that's not what I wanted to do. Dag, it's killing me. Shout out to show on screen. You got to see what's happening behind the scenes, guys. So bear with me. This has never happened before. Married 39 years, and we both make 6 figures each. Oh, dope.
Wow, that's
Yo,
great.
so
That's great.
let me hold something though. Let me hold, you know, a couple of dollars, until I'm kidding. Don't give me no money. All right. Vaughn Sanders Ministry says, if I can get it.
I just want to ask the people in the chat, do they think that there's hope for those out here dating right now? Do you think it's a
Yeah,
toxic dating forecast? What does the forecast hold? Is
it's
it
a good question.
is it cloudy with a chance of never finding a man? Like for us black women, 1 in 4 chance of getting married. So I want to know what y'all think. Do y'all really feel like modern dating today is toxic? Is it a sunny forecast? Is it, what's the forecast hold for us? Because I
Mm,
don't know. I don't know what's going on out here in these streets. But you just got to find the certain community. You have to vet what certain communities. And for me, it's the Christian community. You got to go with them first to understand like what natural standards look like. What instead of this toxic standards, you got to go with people who know what real love looks like, what real relationships should be modeled after. You got to find the
mm,
right model, so therefore you can find the right person. That's what I think.
yeah. And I think that the finding the right model is extremely important. And I think that's where modern relationships lose it because with less and less people getting married and staying married, they don't know really what to look for in what a solid committed relationship looks like. They just don't.
And I see some
Yeah,
chats coming
I'm gonna keep
in.
pushing, bro. I'm gonna keep pushing.
That's
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah. All right. So it is now 9:04, and I've been on here for a little bit, and I got to go and get ready for school tomorrow. But this is a great conversation, and I think that we may need a part 2 because there's some other things that we
Yeah.
wanted to talk about and engaging in the chat and my little mix up with the comments. But this is good, and I appreciate you because some may say you're only 25, but living 2.5 decades on Earth is not like a small feat, and it seems like you have a very solid outlook on life,
Thank you.
and in a time where um, women are more concerned about their social media presence and looking like a insta baddie, wanting to let people see how great they're living their lives. Um, you seem to just be trying to make it right with God in all areas. So
Purpose,
I've been
his purpose, his mission. That's the thing.
yeah.
We're not focused on his purpose or his mission. Everybody else, we're trying to compete so much and keep up with everybody
Hmm.
else, but we can't do that because they're not usually worried about you. The ones that you're trying to compete with, they don't care too much about you. So you got
Mm.
to focus that energy on somebody else who does care about you, who is always with you, who's always consistent. That one that's up there.
Yeah, yeah. That is extremely good. So I really appreciate you. And guys, in case you did not know, today is her birthday.
Yes,
She's
yes.
celebrating 25 years today. So, guys, do me a favor, give her birthday shout outs right now before we
Thank
close
you.
out this live stream.
Thanks. Yeah, I
Um,
really enjoyed this though, for sure. I know I got to work tomorrow to get situated. Thank you,
mhm,
Danielle. I appreciate that.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it was a great conversation too, a really great conversation, and I'm glad that you were able to join me with it, especially on a day like today since it's your birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Marley.
Um,
I see you as well.
yeah,
Thank you.
and
I
I know you
appreciate
didn't,
it.
and I know
Hmm.
Dara didn't want me to say anything about this again, but again, one of the things that I think Mr. Samuels did that was beneficial is bring an awareness to this conversation of relationships in the Black community. Um, I think it also exposed how polarized the sides are, because you know what it reminds me of. I'm not comparing him to, but the situation sort of reminds me of it. Batman, right? Kevin Samuel come out, and you have people in the relationship space, right? Hey, we got
Thank
another one.
you. Thank you for the
Thank you.
blessing. I
All right,
appreciate
all right,
that.
all right. So we have a situation where Kevin Samuel comes out, right? And there were people in the past, in the YouTube space that had their opinions, opposite and contrary to what he was saying, right? But when he came out, he started to explode. These very same people, on the opposite side, were sort of like the villains. And it's like Batman comes out, right? And after Batman comes out fighting crime in the street, you had villains like the Riddler and then Bane and so on and so forth. And it kept getting worse and kept getting worse and kept getting worse because this polarizing figure came out of the dark, started fighting crime. Now, am I saying that Kevin Samuels was fighting crime? No, I'm saying that he had a conversation that exploded and it caused people on the other side to also have polarizing views. And then it created a divide in the African American community where people are now taking sides. Women on this side, black women on this side, black men on this side, right? And no one is trying to find, well, not saying no one, but the people who are trying to find a healthy median to help bring families together and have both sides say, some of you guys got great points. Let's meet somewhere in the middle so that we can help bring unity to this community. People weren't having it. So people like, myself, like Christian Fam Channel, like um, others out there that your channel that talk about things like this, we don't get the airplay because we're not picking a polarizing side. We're trying to find a happy medium. And I think more content creators like myself and yourself should be put out there to help couples, not just black couples, but for the sake of the conversation, young black couples find each other and develop healthy relationships, even at a young age.
I agree. And also want to say thank you, No Salt BP, for the birthday shout out too. I want to give a shout out to you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, any last thoughts, final thoughts before we close out?
Final thoughts is that from what I see, one thing I want to shout out real quick is all God everything what he said further up. I asked him is like what's the forecast hold, and one thing he said is that let me scroll up here. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, the chat is a mess, but we're gonna get it. One second, because I really want to see this. Okay. Okay, one thing he said is that as far as the dating forecast, he said, well, the forecast depends on what news channel you watch. Okay, so that's one thing that stood out to me, is that what you're watching, what you put into your eyes, become your thoughts, become your actions, as we know. So with that being the case, make sure that we just watching positive things. And then that Christian fam said, yes, there is hope, but they need the guidance of Jesus more than ever. See, if we're
Yeah.
rooted in the faith, then I think there's positivity. But a lot of people out here are getting so distracted. Like I said before, distractions become main attractions. So if that's the case, that's why a lot of people can't have steady relationships, because of the distractions that are popping in, and they don't know what to do. Because as soon as some testing happens, they don't know how to persevere through it. For example,
Mm.
James 1, I think it's James chapter 1, verses like 2 and 3 or something like that, that's talking about testing, the trials, the tribulations. Count it all joy when you're going through trials, when you're going through tribulations, because that means that you're increasing your perseverance and during the
Yep.
midst of that. We don't realize that, but yeah, exactly. We got to make sure that we stay faithful. Speak it into existence. Whatever you want, speak it into existence, and then get those biblical facts to back it up. Okay, that's
Hmm.
what I believe. There's hope out here. I'm hopeful. I know.
Yeah,
I
I
know a
think there's hope
God.
too.
I know one God, not the Godfather. I know one God, and I know that
Hmm.
he said everybody's not meant to be alone. So therefore,
Yeah.
and thank you, James chapter 1 verses 3 through 5. Yeah, that's what all God everything said. But I think there's hope out here.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful, and I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
prayerful.
Yeah. As am I. All right. I really appreciate your presence on the live stream. I appreciate your input. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please do so right now. Great content. Great sister. All right.
Thank you, bro. I
So,
appreciate you.
all right. So hang out for a hot second while I close out the show.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, guys. Listen, man. Subscribe to her channel right now. She took time out on her birthday to join us in this conversation. So, Harrison Extended Family, hit her up, subscribe to her channel, and listen to her content because it is extremely helpful. And I do appreciate all you guys from being here in the live stream. You could be doing something else, like watching an NBA playoff game, but you're here with me. So, I greatly appreciate it. Okay. I'm not going to watch a playoff game. I'm going to go on NBA.com and see who won because I got things to do. All right. But listen, um, we got to be careful where we get our information from and the motive behind the information. People will tell us exactly what we want to hear and not necessarily what's best for us to hear. Therefore, they would tickle your ear so that they can secure the bag, get your money, get your super chats, get your view, get your advertising dollars or whatever. What we really need to be doing is accepting self-accountability and saying, you know what? I struggle in this area. I need to find content that's going to help me fill the deficit that I'm struggling with instead of filling me with nonsensical ideas about myself that makes me feel better and my ideas about myself conflated and looking at other people looking down at other people. And so I think that we really got to do a better job with tricking the algorithm to give us information that we need that will benefit us and help us grow instead of just what we want. All right. So let's not let influencers dictate how our relationships go. Let God do that. Go to God, go to the Savior who has given us a blueprint of what a positive relationship looks like with Christ's relationship to the church and the church relationship to Christ. There's expectations on both sides, and then both of them need to be met. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Greatly appreciate you all. I love my Harrison Extended Family. It's been a couple of weeks, but we're back. All right. If you have not done so yet, hit the like button and hit the bell notification next to it after hitting the subscribe button. It's been a couple of weeks. Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification next to it so it'll let you know when I upload new videos. I'm going to go live like I'm doing right now. And if you would like to join the channel and help out through a small monthly financial donation, you can do so by going to patreon.com// Harrison Family Values, or hit the join button down below. It's somewhere over here. It's been a couple of weeks. Hit the join button. We have very inexpensive tiers: third cousins, first cousins, second cousins, and siblings. And your donation will help content like this continue to be pushed forward out here in these YouTube streets. All right. I love you all. Greatly appreciate you all. And until the next upload or live stream, I'm out. Peace.